What's up, All Eyes DB Camp members? I get this question a lot. It's when do I know when it's time to turn out of my back pedal? And that's a legit question, especially for those of you that are new to the game. There's some of you that have been playing defensive back for a while that still don't know when to come out of your back pedal. So today I'll try and offer some answers to those questions. This is something that I do address in my sessions. Which is, and I do that with this particular drill that you're going to watch today. There are several participants. You're going to see several clips from this drill that I do with my guys when I'm having a session. So as a general rule, I will say this overall, this is one of those things where you just have to have a feel for it. And you get better with it with experience. As you cover more guys, you start to get a better idea of not only what you see from the wide receivers, but you start to learn a little bit more about yourself. Obviously, the better you are at turning out of your back pedal, the longer you can stay in the pedal before turning out. And obviously, the longer you can stay in your pedal, the better off you are because you're able to stay square. All right, so let me not talk you guys to death on this. Let's just get to playing some of these clips. I'm going to let some of them run as you'll watch here, and I'll just talk over it a bit here. But the drill is this. I'll line the defensive back up on the line, and I do this on the line because I try to give them a little idea in terms of spacing, pedaling straight back. They'll know that they're doing that, as you see the gentleman doing here, going straight back on the line. The first thing you want to do when a guy's pressing you up the field is get depth up the field. And so by using this line, the player gets to understand that he is going straight back because he's staying on that line. So it just gives them a little spatial awareness. And so they're able to get an understanding of exactly what they're doing. Sometimes when you're on the normal field, there are no lines in front of you, so you don't particularly understand whether you're going straight back or not. Sometimes you feel you're going straight back when you're actually not. So these are the clips playing again. And you don't want to be too quick to come off that line. Okay, the receiver's going to push you straight up the field first. The good receivers are going to push you straight up the field before they bend out. They're going to try and get on your toes first, go around you and circle around you, and then try and stack you if they can. You can avoid all of that by going straight back first and really forcing them to get up the field on you. So let's talk about when it's time for you to come out of that pedal. If you're new to the game or you're having trouble with it, the rule I would say for you in starting off is turn when the receiver is about 3 yards away from you. All right. I'd love to have it be less than that, but when you're starting off and you're still not sure, rule of thumb, wait till he's about 3 yards away from you. Then it's probably time for you to come out of your pedal. Of course, that will change as time comes. All right. So we are working on this very thing when we're doing this drill right here. And so we can take a look at some of these examples. I'll talk through them here. This is a good one. You could see this gentleman going straight back, and his name is Tyler Gaskin. He's a 2021 defensive back out of American Heritage Delray in Delray Beach, Florida. Well, let me show you what he's doing well here. He's staying in this pedal and he's getting vertical. You see that receiver's getting vertical? He's getting vertical too. He doesn't veer off of that line to begin with. And first of all, we do put the players closer together. We don't line them off. So if you're wondering why these players are this close to each other, we would never do this in an actual game. My rule of thumb is you're 7 yards off, and we just kind of work from there depending on what coverage it is. So in this particular drill, we get them closer because, we want to cut out all the early stuff. We're getting to the point of truth here, so we put them a little closer. But what you're going to notice Tyler doing right away is getting depth. And notice how it becomes difficult for the wide receiver to get over the top of him. Okay, it's because Tyler is getting his depth first, and that's very important. Get your depth, go straight back, go straight back. Now it becomes more difficult for this wide receiver to get even with you and then work around you and then stack you. So he maintains an upfield position merely by what he did in the beginning, which is getting vertical first, turning, getting vertical, and then he can turn and run to his face, as you will see him do right here. He turns, opens, when he thinks that ball is coming, run to his face. What a lot of guys will do, and let me use some arrows to show you here, is they will immediately go here. Once the receiver goes out here, they start running to this. They start getting wide too soon. And that's what the receiver wants. He'll start going out in this direction some, hoping to lure you out here so he can go here, stack you, and get around you. And then the ball comes in here to him. What he's trying to do is get you behind him. And you're going to see in a couple of examples here that that actually does happen. All right. What you notice Tyler doing here is going straight back on this line first. The receiver goes out here. He doesn't take the bait until he thinks that the ball is coming. And you'll see it on the receiver's face. You'll see it in his body language, and then you're going to notice Tyler running to his face. And if he feels like that ball might be getting close, you're going to notice Tyler look through the receiver first to find the ball. And if the ball is coming towards that receiver or maybe to his back shoulder, you can make a play on the ball while looking through the receiver. Now, if you get to the receiver and the ball appears to be on the inside of you, you get your hips into the wide receiver, and then you can turn your head back around the other way. So we're going to watch Tyler execute what I just talked about here in his rep. Goes straight back, gets up the field, maintains upfield position, looks through the receiver, makes a play on the ball because he sees the ball coming. We're going to look at this rep here. I think we get much of the same. This is an experienced DB with skill. Notice him going straight back. He turns. Now his turn was a little later. All right. He's very quick. He has quick feet. He knows himself. Quick out of his turns, as you will see right here. Very quick getting out of that turn. Doesn't have a problem flipping his hips. But the one thing I want you to notice is that he stays vertical, gets vertical, and he's in a better position to cut that route off. All right. A little bit of a different scenario here. This gentleman was a little bit later on his turn, and he's not as quick making that turn, as you're going to notice. He's not as quick as the last guy making that turn. You'll notice a couple of extra steps that he takes to get out of that turn. So he may not have the luxury of being able to turn late. All right. So for someone like this, he does need to make that turn at about 3 yards, at worst 2 yards before. And as you can see, we're about a yard here before he makes this turn. It's a little harder sometimes for longer defensive backs to make that turn. If you're a long defensive back, work those hips. Although the turn wasn't bad and he ended up on his hips, eventually that receiver, if he's got some good speed going, is going to end up beyond him and could circle back around him, as you'll see here. All right. Now this example, here's another tall defensive back, waits too long to make the turn. The wide receiver is basically on his toes, and you're going to see what happens here. So we have examples of this being done right and then them being done wrong. All right. So what you see is he allows, right now we're at a yard. Okay. This is about a yard right here. That's a little too close for this particular defensive back. Now, if you do find yourself in this situation, when you make that turn, then you have two choices. You can, if this receiver is this close to you, as you're seeing here in the video, you can strike him in the chest. That will do two things. It will propel you back some. It will also keep the receiver down low underneath you, so he's not able to fully close your cushion. A lot of times, though, what will happen is he will make his move right at this time. A really good receiver will know when he's gotten close enough to you. So let's run this back. You're going to take a look at it. He should be out of that pedal by now, but you see he throws the strike. He tries to strike him in the chest. That is what you're trying to do, while also getting vertical, though. You do want to get vertical on this, so he kind of steps out a little bit. That's what put him underneath the wide receiver in this particular case. When you make that strike, though, and you go to open, you want to be vertical. And so him slightly coming off the line there did hurt him in this particular rep. Hopefully, though, this is further down the field, and now it gets a little more difficult for the receiver to get that ball way down the field. So you may be looking at an underthrow situation. We don't want to rely on that. However, though, yes, he's late on the turn. what you do want to do if you find yourself in that situation is punch your hand at his chest as you're opening your hips, and you want to get yourself vertical. Get yourself vertical, and that's really what we're trying to stress here in this entire drill anyway. Sometimes you may turn late, and the way to help yourself out when you've turned late is to get yourself vertical. So looking at it once again, and we're kind of working tempo on that too, as you can see, as the receiver's coming off and then speeding up and then going a little faster. All right. You do also see the receiver trying to strike his hand down. Good receivers will do that. But again, the whole idea here is get vertical as fast as you can. You're trying to get over the top, and if you need to, you work yourself back down in that situation. All right, I think we get the idea of what I'm talking about here on this. If you guys have any questions on this, feel free to drop a comment below what your thoughts are on this particular technique. It's one that has really, really worked for me in training my defensive backs, and so getting vertical up the field is a really, really big, important part of this. As you may have noticed in some of these videos, like I said, some guys are going to do it right, some guys are not going to do it right, and that's the whole idea of having these training sessions, is to try and get these guys in a situation where they're doing things correctly. So, you see them in the drill, they're doing it wrong. I'm out there correcting them. You can see me there off in the corner, trying to get them to where they need to be. And over time, it will be automatic for them, and they will start doing it in game situations more consistently, and they just start making more plays on the ball. This is a little thing that a lot of guys don't think about, and it ends up being a really, really big thing. So you can go ahead and drop a comment there. Also, if you can send me an email to cwilson@alleyesdbcamp.com. I highly recommend to all of you guys, though, that you do become members of the All Eyes DB Camp members area. It's a really great way for you to take your game to the next level. A bunch of videos just like this one that you can take advantage of, the little nuances of the game that are just going to help you make more plays, be a better player, and reach your optimal level. I have a link to it in the description down below. Enjoy it, guys, and thank you guys for watching the video. Go ahead and give it a like, share, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.